required on the environment and climate emergency in a critical decade for our planet. We must stand together and speak up to save our planet, not just for us, but for our future generations. And we need urgent action now, and to work together as one.
Courage. That's what our world's leaders need more than anything. The decisions that they make about the climate crisis in the next decade are the most important decisions in our planet's history. We need to act with urgency. We need to halve emissions by 2030. World leaders, are you up for it? I am. Let's try and do the impossible.
We're being asked in this country to remove gas boilers, change the way we heat and insulate our houses. Many families will have big financial hits on all of those kind of things. And they'll be sitting there at home thinking, why should we be doing this when China, for instance, is still building more coal-fired power stations? Why should we be doing it? What would you say?
Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone says. And that's what makes it so hard, because you can always blame someone else. In Sweden, for instance, we can say, why should we do this? We do just like the UK. I mean, it's always someone that's bigger than you already. And that's why it's more important that we need to work together internationally to make sure that everyone does it. Not the least pushing China, who are still building coal power plants, which today is quite out of touch with reality, if you ask me.
And of course, but you're from Sweden, and like the UK, in Sweden there is freedom to protest and interest in protests and different voices. That's not necessarily the same.
Escuchen todos. Sé unas cuantas cosas sobre la extinción. Y ustedes pensarán que eso es algo obvio. Pero extinguirse no es nada bueno. Y provocar tu propia extinción en 70 millones de años es lo más ridículo que he escuchado. Ahora mismo tienen una gran oportunidad mientras reconstruyen sus economías y se recuperan de esta pandemia. Es una oportunidad única para la humanidad. No elijan la extinción. Salven a su especie antes de que sea demasiado tarde. Es hora de que ustedes, humanos, dejen de poner excusas y comiencen a hacer cambios.
Así, honrando allá la casa de lucro del alba, de la serpiente hermosa con toda su belleza, con toda su luz.
A todos los seres que se nos antecedieron.
Y muchas más que permanecen.
Companies like Standard Chartered who are funding our deaths. People are literally dying. In Africa, we are seeing the climate crisis already.
As islanders, we lie on the front lines of the climate crisis like many of us here from vulnerable communities. As much as we are passionate to be here, we shouldn't have to be here. Our pain, our suffering, our tears, and our sorrow shouldn't be what it takes to take action. We already know what we need to do. We need to phase out of the fossil fuel era. We need to divest from these industries that are causing this harm and despair.
The climate crisis that are being affected by fossil fuels.
Keep it in the ground. Let's keep it in the ground. Keep it in the ground. Let's keep it in the ground. We are unstoppable. Another one is possible. We are unstoppable. Another one is possible.
You okay? You need a minute? Cool. Okay. Listen up, people. I know a thing or two about extinction. Going extinct is a bad thing. And driving yourselves extinct? In 70 million years, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. At least we had an asteroid. What's your excuse? Imagine if we had spent hundreds of billions per year subsidizing giant meteors. That's what you're doing right now. Think of all the other things you could do with that money. Here's my wild idea. Don't choose extinction. Save your species before it's too late. It's time for you humans to stop making excuses and start making changes.
You're 18 now. You could stand for elected office in Sweden. Have you ever thought about doing that yourself? You'd have huge support, I'm sure.
I thought of the possibility, but I don't know. No, at least not right now. What's needed now is a big, change in the narrative that we see the climate crisis. We need it to reach a critical mass with people who are demanding change. And right now, it's more efficient to do that on the streets than to do it from inside.
But maybe one day in the long future, when you've won the battle in public opinion.
I come from Uganda and I live in Kampala. Generally, this is a country that has one of the fastest changing climates in the world. Because of the rising global temperatures, the weather patterns keep changing. And my country, Uganda, heavily depends on agriculture for survival. For many communities, especially those in the rural areas. So it means a lack of rain means hunger, starvation, and death for very many people. And extreme rainfall also means destruction, it means hunger, means starvation, and leaving many people homeless. Historically, Africa is responsible for only 3% of global emissions, and yet some Africans are already suffering some of the worst and brutal impacts of climate change. So what we really want is a future that is healthy, that is sustainable, that is clean, that is livable and equitable for all of us. What do we want? When do we want it? Now! I was inspired to start the Rise Up movement in 2019. The moment when I felt it was really bigger than when I started, it must have been in September 2019. That is when I got an invitation to the UN Youth Climate Summit in New York at that time, and I was surprised to get that invitation, and I never really expected it. I think very many older people are not so comfortable talking about the truth of the matter. I think young people realize what's at stake. Young people see the kind of future they are walking into, and they are not afraid, to talk about the demands that they have from the leaders or from the governments. What we really want from the older generation is for them to stand with us in this time when we are speaking up, when we are rising up and demanding for climate justice. You cannot leave this responsibility to the young people.
Los científicos aseguran que si seguimos con las políticas actuales, las consecuencias del cambio climático para el medio ambiente y la población mundial serán catastróficas. Los costes de actuar al respecto no son nada comparado con el precio que habrá que pagar si no hacemos nada.